special guest, Andre Talk Money Green on Instagram. Andre and I met a few months ago at the Real Estate Mixer in Brooklyn with Curtis Quao, right?
Yep.
Curtis Quao.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of similar beliefs and a lot of pillars of belief that were kind of like in the same realm. So I wanted to have him on the show. Andre, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, absolutely, man. So, so much to unpack. All right, so Andre, what do you officially do now? I see you have two phones now. So I don't know. I thought you had one phone. Now you got two phones. All right, so obviously you have two different lifestyles going on right now. So please let the listeners know on Earth what's happening.
Yes. So I have two phones with 4 phone numbers.
Okay.
The reason for the multiple phones is that I have multiple businesses. So I have a few different businesses. Primarily, we met through the real estate networking event because I am an insurance broker.
Okay.
So we have a full service insurance brokerage called Seneca Village Insurance.
Seneca Village.
Yes, we do life insurance, homeowners insurance, renters insurance, construction insurance, business insurance, cybersecurity, all of the insurances we cover.
Okay.
So we can do insurance we're national, so across all 50 states in all industries.
Okay.
And I'll tell you about the journey of how I got to the insurance, but that's how we met.
Okay.
I'm a licensed real estate broker.
Okay.
I've been so since 2011 or 12.
Okay.
And I have my own property management company. And there's one more phone number in there I'm missing.
It's 5 numbers.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm doing right now. So that's the reason why, with the cell phones, you have to, for businesses, we're probably touching that for business funding, for business legitimacy, you can't have everything going to your cell phone.
Right.
Oh, that's my 4th number, my personal cell phone number.
There you go.
Right?
Okay.
So you can't have everything going to your cell phone.
Right.
And I had to set everything up to be, this is pre-COVID. So we were, I guess I was ahead of the curve in terms of having a digital office.
Right.
And operating my business from a mobile space because it gets expensive being in multiple places at one time, as I'm sure you can attest to.
Yeah, and it becomes I think the biggest challenge when you're an entrepreneur at a certain point or a certain stage of your career, it becomes, where is my time best applied?
Yes.
Right? Like, should I be doing this or should I delegate that? And that becomes the whole struggle, especially for operators. Like operators, you have like that control thing, and you're like, yo, I can make it happen. But you can only make so much happen by yourself. So that's a little gem I just want to put in there for people because, but then again, not in the beginning.
Right.
I hear too many people want to delegate and they don't got no deals.
Yeah.
You know who you are. But, I'm automated and I have my virtual assistant and I have this and I have that. Yo, I have that business you do less. You must be popping. Oh, yeah, we did 200,000. Like, yo, my man, you're reversed right now. Yeah, you got to get the sale. My belief anyway. Have the sales will then account for growth, That's my biggest struggle, honestly. The past, 12 to 24 months has been, I am the clog in my own funnel system. Oh, really?
Right? So I'm in my own way trying to get more business, so I can't scale because, like you said, I'm wearing so many hats. I'm doing everything. You get tired after a while. You burn yourself out. You can't do all of the work in all of the areas.
You can only be prime, like, I want to say it the right way. You can only be your best version for so much time out of the day too, because you have to cycle. You got to cycle up and down because you can only talk for so long. You have this high energy output, and then people don't understand that. Like that takes your energy. You got to replenish that energy. It doesn't just come like forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what people don't understand. Yeah. So all right, so you have the insurance, real estate brokerage.
Yep. Real estate investment company.
And property management.
Yeah.
All right. So let's break them down. So your real estate brokerage helps you acquire properties, right? Obviously.
No. Nope.
So what does that do?
Nothing now. I just have it.
That's holding. You're just holding that license.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay. So you have property management.
So the investment company is out of state. So I became a long distance landlord 2017.
Okay.
But before I got there, I got into property management, is what we were talking about a little earlier, back in 2008 when the crash happened.
Right.
That's how I got into property management. Left the mortgage business.
Well, let's go back. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. All right, when did you graduate college?
2006.
Okay, and then so that was that. But the bubble burst in 08.
In 08,
you went right into mortgages?
No, I was already in.
So during college?
During college, I got the mortgage job in 2004. But before that, in 2003. So the power of networking is incredible. Okay. That's
one of the reasons you're here right now.
That's exactly why.
It's a great example. Yeah.
And I didn't know this about myself, but I recently, like 2 days ago, took one of those disc analysis.
Oh, okay, like those Tony Robbins.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I took one, and my profile is networker.
Okay.
And I didn't know that about myself.
All right.
Right. So 2003. Backtrack more than that.
Okay.
High school.
High school.
Right? 2000, 2001. No, I graduated in 02.
Okay.
Yeah, so about 2000, 2001, I had a substitute teacher.
Okay.
My teacher was out for whatever reason, and we were in class. And as you know, when we have a sub, nobody's doing any work, right?
Yeah, everybody's chilling.
It's like a free lunch day.
Yeah.
So I somehow ended up just hanging out with the sub at the front of the class.
You were hanging out with the teacher?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're hanging, because all my friends are in there, so we're all hanging out at the front of class. We're talking, built a rapport, and it was just like class was over, so we left. She ended up being in our sub for like a week. I think our teacher was sick or something.
Right.
Fast forward a year and a half later, I graduated high school. I'm in college, and for those college students, you have a lot of free time when you're in college.
Right, especially if you don't know how to what do you call it, budget your time, or if you have time management skills.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's fucked up. And here's the secret, guys: college gets paid no matter what. You pass, you don't pass, they still get paid. My first, not to cut you off, but my first day at NYU, I was going through my classes, and that was one of the things that fucking shocked the shit out of me. The teacher was like, "All right, so here's the syllabus. This is we do a lecture, and if you don't show up, if you don't pass the class, I get paid anyway. So good luck." I was like, "Damn, welcome to NYU." That was big to me. I was like, "Damn, it's like they don't give a fuck. They're getting paid."
College is a business.
Yeah, that kind of opened up my eyes to like the way that world works.
That's what it was. Yeah. So I went to St. John's University.
Okay.
Right there in Queens. Born and raised in Queens. I got a couple St. John's.
A lot of St. John's in the house.
I mean,
whatever.
it's a great school, right? It's a great school, but they're very expensive, right?
Okay.
So tuition back then, I'm dating myself back just like 20 years ago now. Yeah. That you're paying almost $20,000 a year, non-room and board.
Right, just to be able to go in there.
Yeah, you add another 10, 15 grand on that. So I had a lot of time during the day, right? I wasn't working. I just got into college.
Was it because of bad time management, or because your classes were spaced out?
No, my classes were networking, right?
Right.
My cousin is a year ahead of me.
Okay.
At St. John's.
Okay.
So when I got my original program, for that semester, it was first class was like 7 a.m. Next class was like 11. Third class was like 1, and then 3, and then 4. Right. It was the entire day.
Okay.
So when I showed him my schedule, he's like, "Oh no, this is crazy."
He's like, "Hell no."
He's like, so we sat down on the computer. We jumped online, and he's like, "What do you need right now?" I'm like, "I have no idea. It's my first week of school." Yeah. He's like, "All right." Completely wiped my schedule, and we did a brand new one. So I started class at 7:30, and I was done by 11.
Wow.
So I had literally the rest of the day to do whatever I want to do. And the first couple weeks of school, hanging out with some friends that I knew from high school and from just sports and stuff like that. And then I found out, like, after about a month and a half, there's only so much hanging out in the cafeteria or student space student union you can do.
Yeah.
Like, what else can I do? And I've always worked since I was like 14. I always had a job. So somehow I reconnected with the substitute teacher. Somehow, because we have
You got a number during that time in high school?
No.
Oh.
I think what happened was, at the time, she connected with a friend of mine who then became my girlfriend.
Okay.
After high school.
Okay, I got you now. Okay.
So me and her were having a conversation. She's like, "Oh, you remember so-and-so from the substitute teacher?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah. What's she doing?" She was running a nonprofit at the time.
Okay.
And she needed help with the nonprofit. Internships, just cheap labor or whatever that was. So I ended up going down to her office one day, and I was there with her, helping her out, getting her set up. Because what the nonprofit did was it helped high school students get their GED that had dropped out of school.
Okay.
That's what she was doing. Great cause, was very much needed. But it didn't require much skill. She needed somebody in the office to help with follow-ups and paperwork and stuff like that. So I'm doing that for about 3-4 months. And then I'm like, okay, I'm a brand new college student, first semester. I need to start making some money because this was for free.
Right, this is cool, but I got to pay my bills.
Yeah. So I told her this one day. She said, "All right, no problem. Talk to my friend Barbara."
Okay.
Barbara is a retired real estate broker. At the time, I had no idea what that meant.
Right.
But she wasn't retired. She just stopped working at her old job. And her old job, she used to sell timeshares.
Okay.
Barbara was like the #1 salesperson in the country.
Really? So Barbara was like a big dog.
She was a big dog.
Was it Barbara Corcoran?
No, it wasn't Barbara Corcoran. It was not her. No, I didn't meet her. Not yet. I met her at a Mets game though.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. That was years later. But yeah. So Barbara was a retired salesperson.
Okay.
So she ran a brokerage out of her house. Okay. And she was doing a lot of, she had a network by that point. She was doing sales.
She didn't have to go out and get new people, right?
20-something years.
Right.
So she said that I got referred to her through the sub. Went and met with Barbara. Barbara becomes like my second mom.
Right. So, like a mentor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mentor, second one. She's taking care of me completely in the business, right?
Okay.
Teaching me the ropes. And I started out doing rentals.
Okay.
Did that for like 6-7 months. and I was doing Section 8 rentals, not even regular rentals.
Oh, so you're getting paid double. I mean, back now it's a little different. You get paid more as a Section 8 rental.
Now.
Yeah.
Back then, you're getting paid nothing. Because, I mean, she's old school, right?
So you're interning again.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. So I'm driving everybody around who has, caviar jeans with a bare budget.
Yeah.
Because they want granite countertops. Your budget's like $450. What do you want?
And then your voucher is $12.50.
Exactly. Exactly. So it was a mess, right? But I learned a lot from that because she taught me how to generate leads, how to follow up with clients, it's the beginning business of building as an agent, starting out. And I know you know this. If you don't hustle, you don't get any money.
No. If you only, hold on, Earth. There's a teachable moment here. Where's the camera? You only eat what you kill in sales. Just FYI.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. So if you don't know the process of how to find clients, how to build rapport, how to close your client, and how to follow up, you're not going to make any money.
Right.
So that's what Barber taught me.
Okay.
So I'm doing this for like 6 months. I made a couple bucks here and there, but it's a lot of time wasted because you're driving around, showing apartments. It's
a lot of effort with the money. The money's not really reflecting the effort.
It doesn't. I mean, back then there was no $1 million listing, right? But you knew real estate agents made a bunch of money because those are the ones driving the nice cars.
It was stunting. Yeah.
It was them and the drug dealers. Yeah. Right. Those are two things that I know.
Somebody's on to something.
The money is somewhere around here. So yeah, I was doing that for like 6-7 months, and then I'm like, Barbara, I love you. I can't do this anymore. This is horrible.
I'm making no money.
I'm making no money. I'm burning all my gas. She's like, it took you long enough. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. Like, I was trying to see how long you gonna do this rental stuff.
Right.
She's like, I was waiting for you to come to me, and like, I know that you can progress, but you have to be ready to move on.
Right.
Which was another lesson.
Okay.
You're only gonna stay at a certain level for as long as you feel comfortable there.
Right.
And when you're no longer comfortable, that's when you start to grow.
Right. Right.
So I said, well, what's outside of rentals, Barbara?
What's my next level?
She's like, you can do a bunch of stuff. I'm like, well, what?
Name one.
I knew nothing, right?
Yeah.
She rattled off appraiser, real estate agent, real estate broker, real estate lender, a mortgage rep. She told me every possible position that was available.
All the different companies that are involved with the transaction.
Right.
I think a lot of people don't realize that in one transaction, there's about 10 to 12 companies that eat. Just FYI. So you're creating a little economy per transaction.
And that was one of the things I learned about real estate. It's extremely complicated yet extremely simple. And it was that oxymoron to me that realized that you can have 9 different jobs within real estate and none of them are the same.
Right.
And that's why when you hear a lot of people say, well, what do you do? I'm in real estate. That's so vague, but that tells me I know that you don't know what you're doing yet.
Yeah.
Because you're not just in real estate.
Right.
It's like saying I'm in the ocean. Oh yeah? Where are you?
Are you swimming?
Are you drowning? What are you doing?
Yeah.
So
what door did you go through?
I went through the mortgage door.
Okay. She was like, all right, or this one.
Yes.
Little sketchy, but let's go.
At the time, it wasn't though, because we're talking about 2003.
Okay, yeah.
It was still
you got
good.
there early.
Yeah, it was early.
I think 2005 was a proliferation of the craziness.
Yeah, that was the real beginning.
Yeah,
that was the beginning. But back to networking. Right. So how do I get a mortgage job now?
Oh, so she didn't put you on. She just said you should do that.
Oh no, she told me nothing else.
Yeah, she said, all right, I'll see you later.
She's like, you keep working here until you find something, but in the meantime, it's on you, buddy. Go figure it out.
Right.
So I'm in the barbershop. This is back when I had hair. Guys, don't judge me. This is back when I had hair.
Barbershop getting a lineup.
I'm in the barbershop, and my barber, I used to. This is
mortgage broker.
Yeah, that would be crazy, right? No, his cousin was though.
Okay.
And I used to see this guy coming to the barbershop.
Pull up, nice car.
I mean, back then, the big body 5 Series.
Okay.
He had when the brand new 7 came out, he had a brand new
740s.
Yep. He had one. I'm like,
hot.
I'm like, what's this guy do?
Yeah.
So I had no idea. I saw him probably like a year, but he always came in either with a blazer or a polo, a long sleeve polo.
Okay.
Slacks and
always kind of professional, right?
Yeah.
So you're
very,
so obviously he's not on the corner.
He was not on the corner.
So all right, so he's not on that corner.
He's not selling drugs. I don't think anyway. So I talked to my barber one day. I was in a chair. He pulled up outside. He's outside on his phone for like a while. I'm like, you know that guy outside? He's like, yeah, that's my cousin. I'm like, what's he do? He's like, I don't know, mortgages or something. I don't know what he does. But I mean, he's got money, but I have no idea what he's doing.
Right.
He's like, I'm like, all right, can you introduce me? He's like, no.
No, wait, no.
Exactly.
Don't move your chin, bro.
I'm like,
why not?
So how can I meet him? He's like, you can go talk to him if you want to meet him. Like, I'm not introducing you. You're in the barbershop. I'm like, all right, maybe next time when I come back. Maybe I'll come back. I mean, at the time I was like 17, 18.
Right.
Like I'm networking isn't
It's
a
still
thing.
building your skills.
Yeah.
It's the confidence levels ain't there yet. Yeah.
In my mind, this guy is like, he might as well be Bill Gates.
Right. He's doing it. Why would he talk to me?
Exactly. So, a couple more times I saw him, had some little small talk, built him enough courage one day to ask him, like, what do you really do? And how do I get into that space? Right now I'm doing rentals.
Right.
And he looked at me, he's like, I've been seeing you come here for a little while. We never had a real conversation before. Come by the office next week.
Okay.
All right. So I go to the office, and I go to his office.
In Queens?
Yes. So he's in Queens. So I go to school in Queens. My barbershop's in Queens.
So everything's local.
Everything's local to me. He's right off of, I don't know if you're familiar with Cross Island Plaza.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right. His office was in there for years. And he's like, come to the office. So in my mind, that's a job interview.
Right. So you came with blazer.
I went blazer. I had a full suit on.
Tuxedo.
Yeah, I was ready. I was all the way ready. Put the top hat on me. I was ready. I went all the way in.
That's dope. But I'm sure he didn't expect that.
He did not.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't expect that. That's
he didn't. So I went in the door, and he's like,
bro, what's this?
What are you doing? Like,
you want my job?
I was like, I came to interview. He's like, this is not an interview. I tell you to come off so we can talk. I didn't have time to talk in barbershop. I'm out. Well, I'm here, so
I'm dressed up.
We can talk. Let's talk. Fast forward, he ended up hiring me, right? He ended up hiring me. He asked me what I was doing, what I wanted to do. And at the time I was going to St. John's, I was a telecommunication major.
Okay.
Had no minor, just in my mind, computer was the big thing coming out of high school.
That was the next big thing, right?
Yeah, so just learn how to program and all that stuff. And halfway through my St. John's undergrad career, I hated programming.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a very isolated environment. It's you and a computer, that's it.
Yeah.
And personality-wise, that just didn't fit for me.
Right.
I need to interact with people.
Yeah.
So I went to my advisor. I'm like, hey,
this sucks.
I'm not doing this anymore. I need to switch to a business major because it's a little bit broader. I can find some more things to do. She's like, oh, sure, no problem. Let's look up your stuff, what you did so far. Pulled up my credits, everything. She's like, okay, great. We can switch you to the Tobin Business School. All right, no problem. You'll lose a couple credits, but you'll have enough to finish in time.
On time, yeah.
On time for her was a 5-year degree.
Oh, damn.
It was because I was on a 4-year track. No.
Oh.
My undergrad would have now taken me 5 years. And I'm like, wait.
Super
I'm a junior now. You telling me I got to do 2 more years of college? Absolutely not. We're not doing that. I told her flat out, I'm like, I'm not doing it. She's like, so what? I'm like, can I do anything else? She's like, you can do a business minor because you got most of the credits, take a couple more classes, and you'll still be done on time 4 years, you'll be out. Because I realized at St. John's that they set you up when you go into school to be in college for 4.5 years at minimum.
I didn't know that.
Your credits are set up for not 4-year graduation.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so if you don't do summer classes and all that extra stuff, you're not going to get out on time. It's 4.5 at minimum, and that extra half a year for them
extra
is
8,000. A little extra,
little 20 grand for here and there.
Yeah, little something.
But it adds up because if you don't finish that 4.5, now you're at 5, 5.5. Like you'll be in college for 6 years,
right,
and barely get a degree.
Just get financial aid, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean that was a whole another scam.
Yeah, but there it is.
Student loans are not going away.
Yeah. But, well, I have a teachable moment. So he went to just chop it with somebody who was obviously doing something in their space and was successful, but he went for the job that he wanted, not what he thought he was getting. And I believe that's what really got you in the door, because I get approached all the time.
Yeah.
And people be looking crazy. And I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second part becomes, they do it for like 6 weeks.
Yep.
Nothing happened. Yeah, I want what you got.
Yeah.
Okay, well, do this.
Yeah.
8 weeks later. Yo, I don't got it. I was like, my man, I've been doing this since 2004. Like, that's why I felt like grabbing him by the face. Like, I've been doing it. Like, don't disrespect me.
Yeah.
Like, don't think you can do what I did in 8 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway. It's
the microwave society we live in, though.
Microwave society.
Everything's right now. We need it right now.
I call it the prime era.
Oh, man.
Boom. I want it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want success right now. How do I dial it in? Instagram.
You got to work. You got to work for it. So, yeah.
All right, so boom. You changed your minor.
I kept my major, added a minor, went back and started working for a mortgage company.
Okay.
And he saw something in me. And I credit this man to this day. He's still my mentor. I still talk to him now.
Dope.
We still do business.
Okay.
And he put me in a position to grow in several ways. One was leadership, right? Leadership, and also he gave me the tools for a finance major. So I got real life finance experience at work. I didn't get it in school because I couldn't get into. If I went to the business school, I would have got a finance degree, but it would have taken me longer to get out of school. And in my mind at the time, college is like jail. I need to get out of here as fast as possible.
Right. I'm gonna do my time, get out.
Exactly. So I graduated in 2006. Market was insane, as you know, back then.
Anybody got a mortgage.
Everybody's making money. As long as you're breathing, you can qualify.
Can you sign this paper? You're approved.
Can you fog a mirror?
Yeah.
You don't worry about signing it. We'll sign it later. Don't worry about that. Just breathe. Breathe for me. You're good? Okay, great. So, yeah, I was 19, 20 years old, getting $20,000 a paycheck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and this is what I was saying to you
rich,
earlier.
Bitch.
I can't work for anybody at this point. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Then 2008 hit.
Right.
And we're like,
shit done changed.
Wait, you guys don't make that kind of money all the time? Is this not a normal, what's going on here? Where's my 20 grand check? Yeah, you get $200 this week. Yeah. $200? Yeah. He's like, did you close anything? No. But so what? Give me a check. That's how I thought.
That was awesome.
That's how I thought.
That's your youth right there. Yeah. Where's the magic money? Yeah.
So 2008 hit, and honestly, looking back, we saw it coming probably like the middle of 07.
Okay.
When the lending started to get tight and all that crazy stuff started happening.
Right.
And I stuck it out long as I could. Right. I was living on credit cards. I was living on lines of credit from the bank. I was doing anything possible to
stay in the business.
Commission job, which was 100% commission.
Right.
There was no salary. There was no draw.
Right.
Like you literally, if you didn't close the deal, you didn't get paid.
You didn't get money. Yeah.
And that was it. And then
that's the other part about what people don't understand. Like they see certain like careers, right, in real estate and lending, whatever. Like, as you climb the ladder, because obviously there's so many different ways that people structure this. But let's say you're at the head of your company. Yeah, man, you don't close transactions, you don't get paid.
You don't get paid.
That's it. There's no unemployment. There's no, let me get it paid. None of that. And then, God forbid, it's a gift and a curse, right? Being at the head of your table, because you have people that depend on you. So like you're like, you can't, like, you feel that pressure, right? Not just your family, but your employees, everybody. You feel that pressure, like you have to provide. It's a thing. And so I don't think enough people respect the entrepreneur that way.
True.
And they were like, you got it. I'm like, I went to go get it, right? I had to go get it. Nobody gave me. I had to go get it. So, but you. Yeah, because I wake up at 4 a.m. Before this interview, I had to be at my desk at 7 a.m. to get some things done. Right. Because then nobody's going to wait for me, They'll find somebody else eventually.
And if you don't do it, it won't get done. Right. So there's
and your team can pull it. I believe teams need a strong leader, right? Like if you're, like, it's like, distribute, like use a basketball analogy. You distribute the ball well, we can make it happen. Yeah. Like Golden State won last time. But and if the ball is just stuck, and sometimes that special sauce is the leader. The leader, like, call this guy. This guy will get it done, or I'll pull somebody. There's certain conversations that only you can have. Yeah. So that's why I find, just going back to what you said about bottlenecking. Yeah, that's the only part. Like when I was in Jamaica, the graduation with the kids and all that, things got done. Yeah, but not how it could have been done. Right, like instead of the 2 deals we closed, I could have closed 5. Yeah, but is that balance? You got to have some sort of harmony, because if you don't have a life, what's the point? And
honestly, you taking yourself out of the environment allows you to see what's not working properly within the environment, right? So now you can improve. But sometimes we get so caught up in the day-to-day that we think everything's working
because we're in the business, right?
You're not working on. You're not looking at the business,
right. Well said. And going back to what you said earlier about recharging, like you can only grind your gears at 100% for so long. Then you got to kind of chill, maybe refocus your attention somewhere else, and then when you come back, it's a brand new perspective. Exactly. People don't understand that. Sometimes they want to stare at the screen so much that their eyes are bleeding and they don't see it. Yeah. I'm like, yo, take a walk. Yeah. Go get a coffee. Go buy a shirt. Like I've told guys that work for me, go buy you something from there. Here's the company. Go buy like an outfit. Yeah. Get out of here. Just reset.
Clear your mind. Yeah.
Because you're bugging out right now. Because every little thing is throwing you off, and you don't even see it, but I see it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So I forgot where I left off.
All right. You were at You were 08, you were like, yo, these checks ain't coming in. Right. Give me the magic money.
And I'm like, what happened?
What am I going to do?
He's like, the well's dried up. And honestly, because he was in the business for so long, he knew that it wouldn't last. Okay. Like that. It was a run. Like, honestly, what I believe the last 2 years have been a run. With Fannie Mae, with the rates being this low, like we're pricing some stuff out today, 6.75. I'm like, wow, 680 FICO, what happened to 2%? I was like, sir, that was 2 years ago. Wow, yeah.
So things are swinging a little bit right now.
Yeah, so it's a place now for him, and when he saw it coming, because he's been in the mortgage industry probably like 10 years at this time, right? 10, 12 years. He had a bunch of experience. He's like, it won't last as long. We're going to weather the storm, and we're going to be good. So in his mind, 2008, the third quarter, it should have got better.
Okay.
It didn't.
Right.
So we stuck around as long as I could, and then I had to go get a regular job, right?
I had to go do something to make money.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with it, right? But that's just what I had to do at the time. So I ended up going to work for a bank.
Okay. Like a regular retail bank?
Yeah, well, at the time it was called Astoria Federal Savings.
They're gone now. Who bought them?
Sterling Bank bought them.
Sterling bought them, right? Sterling National, right? Okay.
So I went to work for them.
You gave me your resume, say I used to be a mortgage broker?
I had to clean it up a little bit because that wasn't helpful at the time. It wasn't good to be a mortgage broker back then. Right. So I mean, my degree helped me get that job, right? Because I had the 4-year degree, went from a very well-known school in the area. Right. So I was working in a retail branch though. Okay. Like doing as you guys call personal bankers now. Okay. Right. So I did that for like 9 months. I was in the branch. So I got the job in January. By June, I hated the job.
Right, you hated it so much.
Because now they're pushing you to sell checking accounts and stuff like that.
Yeah, what do they tell you? Well, I've never done that job. So what's the, like, every job has a purpose. Right. What's the purpose of a personal banker?
To open checking accounts. And
even if they don't, like, the client doesn't have a lot of money?
It doesn't matter.
Ah, okay.
They care about, so the way that banks make their money is based on how much money's in the bank, right? On paper. So they want to do two things. They want to build relationships with clients, and they want to make sure that they can get as much money in the door as possible. Okay. When you open checking accounts for younger clients, they tend to keep their relationships a lot longer. Ah, okay. So that we focus a lot on
send you to high schools.
Well, we couldn't leave, so they had to come to us. But we did a lot of promotions for high school checking accounts, college checking accounts, college savings accounts, and then we had clients who had accounts for years because the population of where my branch was, it was in Whitestone. Okay. So we had a lot of older
money over
folks.
there.
Oh, there's a lot of money.
There's money over there. Yeah.
There's a lot of older folks with money.
Right, so they're dying.
Well, not even that. They've got like one checking account and there's $400,000 sitting in it.
Yeah, real money. Yeah.
And they're like, we're like, well, you got to open another account. They're like, why? Yeah. Oh, because FDIC insurance only covers you for this much. Oh. So let's open an account over here.
No maintenance fees.
Exactly. Oh, they sold you. Yeah. And then we started pushing insurance products through the bank. Okay. So annuities or insurance product, there are different products that you can sell within a bank to a client, but you have to be licensed. Okay. So that's when you started getting licensed? They forced me to get licensed because if you didn't get it within the first year, you got fired.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I went to the test about 6 months in, like June. I went and got my life license. Okay. So all I needed was life and health to sell an annuity at the branch. I went and got it, and I'm like, I hate this job. Like I knew I wasn't doing this job for too long because I'm not providing any type of value to anybody. Right. Like I'm not even helping people with their information, with their money.
So you're basically miserable
at work. I was just literally going to work every day just because I needed to have a paycheck. Right. So month 10 was October. I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna quit. Yeah. I'm gonna quit. And what happened the week that I was going to quit was two things happened. One, when I went and got the job at the bank, I applied for all of the city jobs at the same time because I didn't know where I was going to work.
It's called hedging.
Yeah. I had no idea what was going to happen, right? Yeah. So sanitation, NYPD, fire department. I applied for all of those. Right. NYPD called me back in the end of September and scheduled an interview for me in October. Okay. And a job opened up within the bank in the what we call back office, was the corporate headquarters, right, for a property management analyst. Okay. So the
two opportunities presented themselves
same week.
Right.
So I went for the interview at the bank because I already worked there. So I just I put my resume in. So I put all my mortgage stuff back on my resume now. Oh, yeah.
I know.
Note to self: if you guys are looking for a job, make sure your resume is tailored to the job you're looking for. Don't lie, but put the proper pertinent information to the job you're applying for.
Write the information that would be attractive to the new employer. Right. So you have certain skills.
Yeah. So I modified my resume again and sent it in for the private management job. Did the interview, thought it went so. Nice guy who interviewed me, but I didn't get any warm, fuzzy feelings about me getting the job. Right. He said, we'll let you know in a couple of days. So my NYPD personal interview was the Friday. I had this interview on, let's say, Monday. I got a call Thursday night.
You got it?
You got the job.
Right. So then,
do you want the job? That's my question now.
They backed you into that corner. Okay. Because you had Friday, you would have that other interview.
My interview, because I wasn't going to work on Friday. I was going to go do my interview at NYPD. So I remember very vividly, I had just walked through my friend's door. We're going to hang out at his house. When I got the phone call, like, congratulations, you got the job. Do you want the job? And I'm like, I'm going to call you guys back. So I hang up the phone and I'm talking to my friend and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Because NYPD, I was 22, 23 at the time.
Yeah, 20 years you out.
Yeah, I'd be out by 43, 44. You know, guaranteed salary, pension, benefits, all that good stuff. but I also might get shot at work.
Right. You might get killed.
So, you know, I got to weigh my options because I don't know what this property manager job even is, right? I just knew I wasn't going to be in the branch. I said, I'm going to take the property manager job.
Okay.
And I told my mom this. She thought I was going to be a cop.
Yeah.
From when I was a little kid, she's like, I always thought you were going to be a cop. I was like, why? She's like, you have that customer service personality.
That
swag.
You got
something
that blue
about you.
swag. Yeah.
So I took the property manager job. Best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
That job changed my entire perspective of how money works.
Okay.
I knew about financing for the mortgage job, but then I now learned how to put together huge deals working for the bank doing a property management job because my job wasn't property management only. I was writing leases into my career. I mean, 3 years in, I was writing leases for Social Security, GSA. I mean, our lease at that point with them was about $2 million a year. I'm reviewing documents. I'm dealing with small businesses. I'm dealing with large corporations, developers, owners. I got the full gamut because it's a small bank.
Right.
So when you're in a small bank, you do a lot of different jobs along the way to sort of make sure the ball keeps moving.
And you got to make sure you keep that relationship with the client. You know?
Exactly.
So then you start learning about things like depreciation, things like that. The things they don't teach you in school.
Depreciation.
About how it's not avoid, it's defer taxes, guys.
Correct.
Right? Remember, it's deferment.
Yes.
Always, you're going to pay eventually.
Yeah.
When that day comes is really on how good you are in accounting.
Yes.
Just, that's a note to earth.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll tell you right now, the day that changed my life when it came to the finance game was I was talking to my boss. Now, just to give you a background on my boss at the time, his name is Don. Shout out to Don. I miss you, man. Don was in banking on the real estate side for 27 years when I met him.
Okay.
And this is 2008 already. So
okay.
He had already been doing this for years.
He had made it.
Yeah. I mean, EAB, Citibank, he worked for all these banks.
Okay.
And we were having a conversation, you know, a couple years in, and I used to always pick his brain. That's one thing I was always doing. I'm always thirsting for more knowledge. I want to know more, want to learn more. And
well, hold on. So the younger generation out there got to understand, like, if you see somebody who's doing what you think you might want to do, then you can always just, you know, chop with them. But here's the kicker on that, right? Like, if you come back in a year and you didn't do anything the guy told you to do, then you shouldn't come back, because the guy's gonna be like, yo, you're wasting my time, because time is really the most valuable asset anybody has. And if I'm giving that to you, then if you don't execute, then it becomes almost like it's kind of a waste. It's a bad investment. Yeah. So you young guys, I want to do this, I want to do that. All right, we'll do this and see me in 6 months.
Follow up.
Yeah, if you don't see me in 6 months or you didn't do it, I'll be able to tell anyway, because we're in the space. Yeah, we're in the space. So anyway, so he's in 08, you're picking his brain.
Yeah. So we were like 2010 when we had this conversation.
Okay.
But what happened was we're a tenant. So as a bank, we either a tenant or a landlord, right? Depending on the situation. We were a landlord in the situation. Sorry.
You're a tenant.
We're a tenant in the situation.
Right.
And the owner of the building did a refinance. So when he's going through the refinance product process, he needs some of our
your financials,
tenant information.
Oh, okay.
So I was a contact person for the landlord for all of our locations. Right. So he's calling me, asking for this, and this. I sent it over to him, and I went to, because I didn't know. I knew what he was asking me for. I didn't know why he was asking for it.
You didn't know what it meant.
So I went to Don one day and I'm like, hey, I sent out all this stuff to Gary, or whatever the guy's name was. I'm like, what's he doing? He's like, oh, they're doing a refinance. I'm like, oh, okay. I knew what a refinance was. Right. So I'm like, well, why does he need all this stuff from us? He's like, oh, and then he broke down how a commercial mortgage works and a commercial lease and why it's so different from a residential. Right. I'm like, cool. He's like, yeah, he's probably gonna clear $10 million tax free. I was like, what?
What do you mean tax free?
What do you mean 10 million? That's the first part.
Stop there.
What do you mean 10 million? He's like, yeah, he's probably gonna refi 10 million out of the building. You mean that janky office that we work in? He's like, yeah. And what do you mean tax free? He's like, he's not gonna pay any taxes on it. It's just free money to him.
You're borrowing. Yeah.
And that's when he broke down what happens when you take a loan out versus you doing a sale. Right. Like when you're generating money, it's one thing. When you're borrowing money, it's a different conversation. Right. In regards to the IRS. Right. So now in one conversation, I'm like, you can get $10 million out of an asset
and not pay taxes.
On it. Oh, this is all I need to know.
Sign me up.
This is it. Yeah. Literally right after that, the next week, I started looking for programs to learn more about it. Okay. I ended up at NYU. Okay. So I went to NYU because they had these certification programs. Right. Before
real estate. I think title companies do that. A few people that I know went down there to get those.
Yeah, because they have the certifications. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back to school to get my master's in real estate development.
I spent 2 years. Right.
Right. And at NYU, that's what, $60,000 a year or something like that?
Some stupid number.
I hate those guys. Crazy.
Shout out to NYU. We just graduated again. I graduated. My middle son graduated. My other son wanted to go there. He didn't get in, but I would have been paying them another bag of money.
Yeah, another $1 million. It's okay. It's all right.
It's all right, man. It's all right. That's what we do out here.
So I go there. I learn more. Like just completely immerse myself in.
Because you're into it.
I love it.
Right. Because you're into it. Right? You're like, yo, this could help me. This could actually change my situation. That's when you really get engaged.
In my mind, it was I can make a lot of money at a job. That was all I thought about.
Okay.
I can keep because the more accreditations and certifications you have, you're more valuable to the company.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, I can probably get paid like $100,000 a year. That's all I'm trying to get to right now.
Yeah.
So got the certification, learned some more stuff, and then I realized I had a glass ceiling at the bank.
Right, because the bank was always so big.
It's always so big, and it was like our department was like 4 people.
Right.
So we had managed millions of dollars. It was 4 of us.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, well.
So unless somebody dies, I'm stuck here.
That's it, right? And I'm not making. I wasn't even making. I might have cracked $40,000 a year at that point in time. I was barely making any money. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
So started looking for jobs,
but you already got just to let Earth know or Hustle Nation. You already got your life insurance.
Life insurance license, yes.
What else do you have?
I have my real estate license.
Your real estate license, right? You got it from Barber?
I got it when I was with Barber. Yeah.
Right. Oh, so you got all that.
I got my license with Barber.
So you still, even though I'm not trying to offend you. Even though you were sucking wind at the renters.
Oh yeah.
You got your license.
I got my license. I still got my license.
All right. Which is an asset. People don't understand that part. Yeah.
Yeah. So while I was at the bank, I realized I got my mortgage broker's license before I left.
Okay.
Because you gotta understand. If you understand the rules of the game, you'll find the loopholes in the game, right?
Well, if you don't know how to play the game,
that's the first part. Right?
Get the camera on me. If you don't know how to play the game, you can't win the game. All right, guys. So learn the rules. If you want to play in a game, learn the rules so you can maybe look at it a different way. And look, we purchase properties, right? Real estate broker fees. You can throw that into your down payment. Like there's so many different things you could do, guys. So like if you really want to get into it, learn it, get the accreditations because they're all going to help you.
They can't take it away from you.
Right. And nobody can outsmart you if you know the rules.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, all right. So back to you.
While I was working at the bank,
you got your mortgage broker license.
I got my broker's license, but I didn't have to do all of the sales to get it.
Oh, okay.
Because a part of the mortgage broker application is how long have you been in business and how many sales have you done in the past 12 or 24 months.
Right.
If you are in the real estate business as a property manager, you get credit the same way an agent
so you
would
mean
get
real
credit.
estate broker license? That's what you mean?
Yeah, I got my broker's license when I was at the bank. I had my real estate license with Barbara.
Okay.
My agent license.
Right.
So from between Barbara and the bank was, let's say, about 6 years.
And you got the credit from all the managing.
From the management.
Right.
Management was the heaviest part of my application. I was still selling homes here and there, but it was the property management that allowed me to have enough points to take my broker's test.
Right. Okay.
Took the test, passed the test, first shot, I'm out the door. So now, before I left the bank, I had my life license.
Hold on. Teachable moment here. The real estate broker license is 100 questions on a Scantron. I know I'm old as shit when I say Scantron to you guys. If you don't know what a Scantron is, look it up. It's multiple choice, 100. I mean, and honestly, just talking to us, this is putting you in an industry, you make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
100 questions on the Scantron.
That's it.
Put that in perspective.
That's it.
Back to you. I'm sorry. I just want people to understand. Like, I'm not trying to hold anybody back.
Right.
Like, you want to get in the game? Let's go.
Let's do the work.
Yeah. It's like, look, I like to play basketball. I'm not going to be LeBron.
Right.
I could play, but never like that.
Let me know when you go play ball, man. I'm gonna come out with you.
All right.
So
you got your real estate broker's license.
Got my broker's license before I left the bank.
Okay.
So when I left the bank, now
thank you guys.
I'm telling you, it's a blessing. It all happened the way it's supposed to happen. 2013, I get a job finally. I was looking for a job for like a year and a half.
Okay.
Couldn't find a job that was going to pay me more than what I was getting, and still in property management.
That's what you wanted to be in.
Because that was what I knew at the time. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of money here.
Right.
Doing commercial property management is night and day to residential property management.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I wanted to do residential property management. I knew commercial property management. I knew all that stuff already.
Right.
I knew enough to say I got a good handle on it. So if I can get a job doing commercial property management, it wouldn't have been a hard transition. But I wanted to do residential property management because it's a different side of the business. You're dealing with tenants in their homes versus a tenant in a business.
Right.
Getting the transition was the hardest part.
Okay.
Because I didn't have any
mentors.
I didn't have any work experience.
Okay.
On residential property management.
Okay.
Because it's two different skill sets.
Okay.
So it took me like a year and a half to get a job interview. Nobody's calling me back. My resume looks fine.
Right.
I've got a bunch of work experience. I got a degree. There should be no issues. Right. Nobody's calling me back. I gave up. I just stopped looking at one point, but my resume was out there floating around. This lady called me back one day, And this is how crazy your mind works. She called me back one day for it wasn't even an interview. She called me to see if I was still looking for a job. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm still. She called me. I'm at my desk at work,
right?
And it's a room like this, so
with 4 people,
a cubicle, and that's not much giving me much coverage. Like, answer my phone. I was on my way to lunch, and she's like, "Are you still looking for work?" I'm like, "Yeah." Mm-hmm. She's like, "Oh, okay." What's your salary range? Mind you, at the time I'm making like 40 grand, maybe like 39,000. Right. I'm like, I'm like 55. Mm-hmm. In my mind, I asked for $800,000 in my.
She was like, got him. She's like, sorry right now.
She's like 55. Okay. All right. So we have an interview coming up. Can you come in next week? Settled the interview. I went there. I forgot what salary I actually said to her on the phone because it was a conversation in passing. Right, I didn't think she'd give me a job interview or anything. I go for an interview. I hit it off with the lady. She loves me. I'm getting up to leave from the interview. She's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, I thought the interview was over. She's like, "Oh no, it's done. I got to go get your employment paperwork."
Oh.
I'm like, "Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll take a seat."
Great.
No conversation in the interview was around salary.
Okay.
Not one of them. So she walks back in the room with the employment package and she puts it on the table and she's like, "What was it your salary range was again?" I was like, "Oh shit. 60?" Mm-hmm. She's like, "Yeah, we can't do that. But I'm gonna give you 55 and probably give you a sign-on bonus."
Okay.
I was like, I mean, all right. I'll take it. You know, it's a little close to where I'm at. But you know, we'll figure it out. Yeah. I walk out. I sign the paperwork. I walk out the office. The first person called was my mom. Yeah. I was like, "Mom, I got I'm lying to you. I got a 20 grand raise by switching jobs." Okay. And that number sticks out in my head. So I was probably making like 35,000 at the time at the job.
Wow. Okay.
So I walk out. As soon as I walk out the door, I call my mom. Right. I'm like, "Mom, I got a new job." She's like, "Oh, that's great." I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. I just got a $20,000 increase. She's like, "Whoa, what?"
Yeah. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Where are you working at? Where are you working at? Tell the whole story. And that was 2011, 2012. Mm-hmm. And I was there for like 2 years at that job.
What was that job? Residential
assistant property manager. Okay. Assistant property manager on the residential side. Because I didn't have any experience to be the lead, so I was assisting someone else. That job taught me a bunch of things. One, it's really about who you know. Right. Because the guy who was my boss got his job because his mom worked at a small company in Midtown. Okay. And when I say small, the owners are brothers, and then they have family working throughout the business, the property management
their nephews, their cousins, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this guy's mom used to work for the company for like 30 years. He was a kid when he started working there. Now he's like 20 years later, he's a middle-aged man. Yeah. But he's not doing any work.
Doing the same shit.
He's like, I don't really care about this job. Right. That attitude led to him passing all of his work off to his assistant manager. So me and another person. Right. And I hated it because he wasn't doing any work. But anytime something went wrong, he's throwing everybody under the bus. Right. Boom.
It was Aaron.
Every single time. Speed bump, speed bump, speed bump. I got to the point where I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why am I working here? I'm not learning anything from you, but I'm just doing the job. 2013 rolled around, but between the time I left the bank, I was like almost 2 years. I was still closing real estate deals. This is why it's important. Having your license can change your life. Because my side hustle was now my main hustle. Okay. I was closing real estate deals, so I was still wholesaling. And before I knew what wholesaling was, because a lot of my clients from the mortgage game were investors. Okay. So I still find properties, and because I have my license, I can get a commission here, get a commission there. Right. I had saved up a year and some change worth of my expenses. Right. And I still had my regular 9-to-5 job. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. So one day he threw me on the bus on last week Friday. I came in on a Tuesday. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. He said something to me that just rubbed me the wrong way that day. Yeah. I was like, cool, no problem. I went and did what he asked me to do. After I was done, I typed in my resignation letter. Yeah. And I went straight to HR and gave it to the guy. Before I got back to my desk, he had emailed it to my boss and his boss and her boss. Right. So everybody had it.
Everybody was like, what's going on?
What happened? Yeah. They called me in the office, like, why are you quitting? What's the problem? I'm like, I just don't feel like I'm valued here, and I don't need to be here. Quite frankly, I don't need to be here anymore. And I quit. And in my mind, I can just go sell real estate and make a ton of money doing the same thing I've been doing the past couple of years, and I won't have to work for anybody anymore.
And do it full time.
That was it. Mm-hmm. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I was so wrong.
What part? What exactly happened that made you know that you were wrong?
Oh, so many things. It was so bad. So the Mike Tyson quote, right? Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, right?
Right.
I got punched in the face probably 3 months out of the gate.
Okay.
I quit my job. I have a year's worth of expenses saved up. I'm like, I'm good. I can figure it out.
I got a cushion.
I can figure it out in a year. And I had a lot of conversation with close friends and family before I quit my job to just make sure I wasn't like just doing it irrationally, right? Yeah. I'm like, no, you got it, bro. You can do it. You can do it. All right, cool. Quit. Month 1, looking for leads. Month 2, looking for leads. Month 3, looking for leads. Where are the leads? I don't have any business coming in. I'm 3 months in. I don't know what to do now. And at this point, I was still working out of my apartment. And like, maybe it's because I'm here all day. Because now it's like during COVID, right? Everybody knows this now. You wake up, you're in your office.
Yeah.
So there's nowhere else to go. You do everything in the house. I'm like, I got to get out of here. So I had started getting dressed like I was going to work, and I would go to my parents' house.
Okay.
I was out of the environment.
Different house. Yeah,
I got dressed up. I was going to work. I went to my parents' house. I sat at their dining room table for like the first month. Leads started coming in. I'm starting to do some business now. Like, oh, okay. I figured I'm in my groove now. What's crazy is I had a goal when I moved out of my parents' house. So I had my son when I was really young. Me and his mom moved in together, tried to do the whole family thing. That didn't work. I ended up moving back to my parents' house, and it was right before I turned 30. And I was in my parents' house, and me and my sister were like 5 years apart. My sister finished college and moved across the country. As soon as she was done, gone.
Yeah.
No one could keep her in New York.
See you later.
Straight to California.
Right.
So for my 30th birthday, it was her 35th. It was 2014. She turns 25, I turned 30. I went to go visit her so we could spend our birthdays together because we're 3 days apart. I woke up on my 30th birthday on my sister's couch in her living room. I'm like, yo, I'm on my little sister's couch.
Rock bottom.
I was like, this is horrible. Like I quote unquote own my business, and I'm bumming it off my sister's couch. I could be in a hotel if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm like, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
And I lived at home with my parents, and I was looking for a Lexus at the time.
Oh boy. Yeah.
This is where I was, like to give you a time capsule.
Mentally. Yeah.
I'm like, I have the money to buy a nice car. But why buy a nice car? You live with your parents, bro. Like, you're a bum.
You get your stuff, get your shit in order.
Get it together. Yeah. So literally that trip, I came back home. I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna get on my feet. So I came back home. I didn't buy the Lexus. I bought an Acura, which I still have to this day. I love that car.
Yeah.
I bought the Acura.
Legend?
No, it was a TSX.
TSX. Okay.
4-cylinder, great on gas. It's amazing. Acura. Call me if you want a spot.
Shout out.
Yeah, it was. I love that car. But that was the beginning of get your life together. You have a kid. You don't own anything. You live at home. Get it together. So went and got an apartment, got a car, all in the same month. And now I'm working the property management job, the residential job, and I'm like, okay, I got it. I got my groove back. I hate my job, so I'm gonna quit. I quit. I still got car payments. I still got a little rent to pay. I got my own little bills.
Expenses, yeah.
Right? And then I finally catch my groove now. Well, I said to say this. When I moved into my apartment, I'm like, I'm only going to be here for 2 years. So April of 2014, I moved in there. I got to be out of here in 2 years. I start my brokerage on my own, and it's not going how I thought it was going to go. I ended up partnering up with a partner of mine. Thought that was going to work. That didn't work because I felt like I was doing all the work, and he was just sort of waiting for me to close deals.
Right.
It was a mess. So we broke that partnership. Throughout this whole entire process, one of my clients that I was trying to sell a house for, I realized, I had an epiphany one day on my way to the house. You don't have anywhere to live. Like, I have an apartment, but you can buy this house. I know the finance game. I know how to get a mortgage. I know how to qualify. I can figure it out with friends or family. I can get
We'll make it happen.
All the paperwork together, get it done. So I said to them on the listing appointment, would you guys mind if I bought the house? They were like, not really. We don't care. As long as it gets sold, we get the number we want.
Get my number.
Yeah, we don't care where it comes from. That was a transition of the rest of my financial foundation.
Okay.
Because me buying that house, I got a great deal. I mean, this is 2016 by the time we closed. I got this thing 50, 60% under market value.
Wow.
It was incredible.
That's a steal. Yeah.
Yeah. But it needed a bunch of rehab work.
Right.
So what did I do?
As we call in the mortgage game, deferred maintenance. This house has some deferred maintenance. We got to do some little touch-ups.
Yeah. I took all of my savings.
Into the house?
My savings, my 401k, I emptied everything. Dumped it in the house. Because I got to renovate it to live in it. Like it was livable when I got it.
But not the way you wanted
but not how I wanted to live.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I have standards to keep up.
Yeah.
Single guy, you gotta look a certain way.
Can't bring nobody here.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to stay here. Dumped all my money in there. and now I'm broke.
You're cash broke.
I didn't know that at the time, right? I was like, I'm just broke.
You're cash broke, equity rich.
Equity rich, cash poor.
Right.
So I'm like, my whole plan of I can make money on my own was out the window because I spent all my money.
Right.
Now I got to go back to work.
Okay.
Going back to work was, I knew I could get a property management job any day of the week, but I don't want that.
Okay.
I hate property management at this point.
Okay.
What else can I do? I think, I should work for a developer.
Right.
How do I find that? I have nothing on my resume that tells me I can do development work.
Right.
You go network.
Right.
The theme of this whole conversation is network.
So where'd you go?
I went to the same way how I met you.
Right.
I went to an event for a real estate guy, right? At the time I'm a broker, so I'm just there networking.
Yeah.
One of the guys there, me and him were standing at the bar, just ordering our drinks. I had no idea who this man was. Come to find out, he owns a property management company in Queens, but he also owns a development company that's a part of the property management company. He was hiring people, looking for qualified people.
Okay.
It was just him and I having good rapport and conversation that led to, let's just grab. I called him for lunch just to pick his brain because there's not a lot of black people that I know that are doing development at his scale. And when I say his scale was, they had about 5,000 units.
Okay.
In Brooklyn and Queens, and they had another 10,000 units under development.
Wow.
Throughout the state of New York.
Yeah.
Huge developer.
It's money. Yeah.
In the conversation, I didn't know any of this. It was just like, it's a brother out here ahead of me.
Yeah.
The same way how I'm a
guy who looks like me, that's doing stuff that I would like to do. Let me chop with him.
Let me see where he's going.
Yeah.
Called him one day, harassed him for a few weeks to get lunch. We went to lunch, hit it off, talked for a while, and he's like, what are you doing right now? I'm like, I'm a real estate broker. He's like, I want you to come to the office. Went to the office with him, and he showed me the whole shop. He's like, we're looking for someone to do asset management. It's pretty much an asset manager, for you, those that don't know, is you're a property manager. You manage property managers as an asset manager.
Okay.
That's what you pretty much do, because you look at all the numbers, you see what's what, you see what's not working.
See cash flows, yeah.
You talk to the property manager so they can fix the problem. You don't fix it. A property manager will go fix it. You tell them to go fix it, and they come back and give you a report.
So basically, you have an eagle-eye view of all the cash flow and expenses coming in and out. You can kind of see like the health of a company.
Of the asset. The asset, right? So I'm looking at apartment buildings.
Right.
So that job gave me a different perspective on the same business that I used to work in.
Right.
So now I'm not in the business. Now I'm looking at the business.
You're looking from a different perspective. Yeah. Agreed.
Taught me a whole different side of the game. I realized this about myself over time. I have like 36 months, and then I want to move on to something else.
Okay.
So I'm in this development game. I'm learning it, and it's 2000.
How's money?
The money there?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting paid now. I'm getting paid now. Now I'm getting paid because
I'm on the come up.
I'm getting paid because I wasn't looking for a job.
Right.
I was the position of my leverage in terms of negotiation was completely different.
It was high. Yeah.
Mind you, now I'm a great poker player.
Okay.
Because if I give you the story of when we're having this conversation, it's 2016. It's the end of the year. I spent $100,000 of my savings in my house.
Right.
My runway.
You eating ramen noodles?
No,
not yet.
My parents were really
close. My
parents were really close. I could still go to their house.
It was never that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I was eating a lot of KFC, but it wasn't ramen yet.
Right.
But I was out of runway.
Right.
I had a month or two left of expenses in my bank account before I was.
So your plane fell off.
That was it. I was gone, and I'm like, nah, I'm not negotiating for no regular salary anymore because perspective is everything. From him looking at me, I would show up in a suit. I dress the part, right? I show up in a suit. I'm driving my own car. I'm taking care of my child. I live my own life. I have a house. So he's like, I can't afford to pay you what you want to get paid.
Right.
I'm like, this is true.
You're like, yeah, just throw a number out. Let me see if I can work with you.
This is true. This is true. He's like, but I want you to come here and learn the business. So the trade-off is I'll cut your salary down, but I'm going to teach you the development business. And that's all I really wanted was to learn the business. Fine. Gave me like 80-something thousand or something like that.
Right.
But what I learned there, it's
change your life.
$1 million worth of game.
Yeah.
Because I learned how to find assets to buy, how to analyze them, do the underwriting. I knew the finance side, and now I got the developer property management side under my belt. I got the whole shebang now in one place. I'm like, this is great. So I do that for like almost 3 years. And then just the deals weren't closing the way it's supposed to close. Development's a very fickle game.
Yeah.
It looks very attractive and very sexy.
You gotta have big money. Big money. Because you got to carry stuff for a while.
For a long time.
For a while.
Yeah.
You'll get, the paydays are big, but you have to be able to get to them.
The paydays are big if nothing goes wrong.
Right.
And something always goes wrong.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah, like, I mean, you hear a developer like, oh yeah, they did a $80 million project. Their development fee might be $2 million when they started. After all carrying costs, salary, everybody else, they might make
net
$1 million, $1.5 million, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's not even paid out at once.
Right.
You got
your draw schedule.
You got a draw schedule.
Yeah.
So I learned all of that stuff working there.
Right.
And I'm like, I like it, but I don't know if I want to do it for somebody else. I want to do it for myself.
Okay.
Throughout this process of me working there, I never stopped selling homes.
That's good.
Never stopped selling homes. So I built my cushion back up. One of the deals, this is how I got into insurance heavy.
Okay.
One of the deals that I did was a family friend of mine called me one day and was like, I need to go talk to my friend. Her family needs to sell their house. I'm like, okay, no problem. I get these calls all the time.
Yeah.
I go to the house. It's in St. Albans in Queens. A house in that area probably at the time was worth like $400,000. They're like, we need to sell the house for like $220,000. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on?
So we sit down and we start talking. It's 3 siblings. The mom had 4 kids. The mom passed away.
Infighting.
No.
Nope.
Hey, check this out. The mom bought the house 40 years ago. Mom and dad bought the house.
For like $5.
Right. Dad passed away years ago. Mom's living there, raised the kids there, raised the grandkids there. She passes away. Before she passed away, she took out a reverse mortgage.
Okay.
Reverse mortgage, for those of you that don't know, when you get a reverse mortgage, the bank gives you your equity in the home up front.
Right.
So you have the cash that's normally trapped in your home. So she did a reverse mortgage because she wanted to give the money to her kids and not wait until she passed away to give it to them.
Oh, so she wanted to give them their inheritance while she was alive. Which is a big thing lately. Yeah.
She wants to see them enjoy the money, was what I was told.
Right.
Which is great, no problem. Here's the issue. She had 4 kids when she did the reverse. One of the kids passed away.
Wow.
But her kids, the youngest one was 64.
Damn.
The youngest one was 64.
Old heads.
Right. So when I'm having a conversation with them, I'm like, why don't y'all just buy the house then? In my mind, you guys are adults.
Yeah.
Everybody's got money. There's no issue here.
Yeah, you're a grown-ass man.
Yeah. They all got at minimum $100,000 each.
Right.
And that was within the past 6 years because it wasn't that long from when she took out the money. Nobody had any cash left.
Yeah. This is where we talk about, guys, get the camera. This is where we talk about financial literacy, guys. All right. I love our people. We love to stunt. I like stuff. I like stuff too. But stuff shouldn't come at the expense of the extravagance. The extravagance shouldn't come at the expense of having some sort of security for yourself. And people getting $100,000 and blowing it,
it's gone.
And then having and then this would lead to a whole other conversation about, I believe, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree with me. Not everybody's built to be a homeowner because it takes effort and money.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And it takes discipline, right? Like some people don't understand that. It takes discipline. Some people just want shit to be fixed.
This is true. I agree with that. But I will say this. Everyone's not built to be the same type of homeowner.
Okay.
So you can be a, as you know, regular homeowner, you can be a co-op owner, you can be a condo owner. There's different gamuts of it.
Right.
But you should still own something.
Right.
Right? No matter what you're doing, you should own something. Own where you live, at least, at bare minimum. This whole conversation with, Grant Cardone and everybody else, don't live in a house, rent everything, put all your money here. They're not talking to you.
No. Send all your money to me. That's what nobody understands with Grant Cardone. Shout out to Grant Cardone. I don't know you. You want everybody to send you your money for what, bro? Like, relax. Gets me mad. Oh, I'll buy a jet. Oh, I'll buy a Bentley. Yo, stop buying stuff, bro.
Yeah. So my thing to everybody is they're not talking to you.
Right.
Because there's a certain demographic of people who can live a lifestyle where they don't need to buy a home because they might have a trust fund. They might have family money. They might have a lot of things that don't need to buy a house so they can invest all of their disposable income into something else. Our people need to build wealth, need to build equity. You do that by ownership. That's the only way it happens.
Yep, absolutely.
So someone's got to start. Someone in the family has to start somewhere.
Somebody has to break the curse.
That's
right?
it.
Yeah.
And then you pass it on to the kids and the grandkids. So your grandkids might be doing stuff like, oh, I can rent everything because I've got assets paying me to do that.
Right.
So I'm talking to this family. They can't afford to buy the house. They're like, just sell it. Just get us out of this reverse mortgage because mom passed. We can't pay them back. They're going to foreclose. Just get us out the house. We don't want to deal with this anymore because they lived across the country. A couple in New York, a couple in California.
Everybody's detached.
Everybody's detached from the house.
Right,
that was their childhood home,
yeah,
but no one lived in the house. Like, just sell it. And in this conversations, I realized that if someone had told them about life insurance, told the mom about life insurance, they had another option, and they didn't know about that. So I asked them, does anybody have life insurance? They're like, no. So like, does anybody have a savings? They're like, no.
We don't get life insurance. Yeah. Oh, Latinos the same thing, man. Latinos, like, I speak to clients or my clients. I'm like, yo, you guys gonna insure the house because you bought that? No, my kids get my kids need to figure that shit out. I've heard that.
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
I'm like, all right. Okay.
You work so hard to buy it, you don't want to cover it. Yeah. Meanwhile, if I actually got insurance on your cell phone, you got like
hell yeah, Apple Care, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So
they have better marketing.
They do. They do. That's what I'm working on, right? That's my job, is to educate our people so that we can, cover
understand what it's for,
assets, right? So that conversation is what put me into the insurance lane, because I mean, doing real estate, I've been doing it for a while. Yeah. I get it. Like, it's sexy. It's fun to talk about, but your real wealth is about wealth protection. It's not about wealth creation. You can make a bunch of money, but can you keep it? It's not about what you make. It's about what you keep. So that conversation, I ended up selling the house for him, which is how I met Carlos.
Okay. You sold to him?
I sold the house to Carlos.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I didn't know Carlos at the time.
Oh, okay.
Networking.
Oh, you met him at another event?
No. I met him through a friend. Because I had a friend who lived up the street from the house that I was selling. So I was talking to him one day. I'm like, I'm selling a house up the block from you. You know any investors? That was all I asked him. Right. He ended up calling. So Carlos has a friend that they were like childhood buddies, and that guy was bird dog and house for Carlos at the time. Okay. So my friend called his other friend, who ended up calling Carlos. Carlos came and met me at the house one day. Okay. Me and him sort of hit it off. Sold Carlos a house. Okay. I never see Carlos again for like years. And then we pop up again at Curtis's event. At the event. Yeah. So we would talk off and on, but I didn't see him in person for a little while. Right. But sold a house, and right after that, I realized I'm doing my community a disservice by not educating them on financial literacy in the most basic way. Insurance is really important. Homeowner insurance, and I saw it a lot with renters insurance when I was doing private management. People were losing. If you don't realize this, if you live in an apartment building in New York, you're sandwiched between other people's lives. Literally. You've got someone on your left,
their bad habits,
right? You got someone above you, got someone below you. So everybody's got roaches and all this other stuff. You might be the cleanest person on the planet, but if your neighbor's disgusting, they're gonna come through those pipes, come right into your unit. If there's a flood upstairs, it's coming into your unit. So you're not having renter's insurance costs like $10 a month. If you don't have the minimum coverage renter's insurance, all your Gucci and Louis and all your stuff gets flooded. What you gonna do now? You're crying, telling the private manager to pay for it.
Well, the fact that you're in an apartment in the middle of all these roaches with your Gucci should tell you a story.
I'm not telling you how to live.
I'm just saying, like, that should illustrate something that you should be changing.
I'm not telling you how to live, but that's how how people live. Yeah, that's how a lot of our people live, right? We gonna stunt. Yeah, we gonna buy the nice stuff.
I believe that a lot of our people do that because I believe so much in self-limiting beliefs. Like, I believe that people are getting their own way. I believe that let's just look use the projects for example, right? Like, you go there, you can't make more than a certain amount of money. You're kind of in a trap, even though if you don't understand it. But you want to get a Lex, a Lambo, whatever, some stupid shit to be parked out front. Yeah. You want to wear Gucci. And I feel like they buy these things because they want to feel. They might feel that's the closest they're going to get to it because they don't believe in the whole process of it, because it takes a little effort and it takes a little time. Yeah. That's the thing. Going back to instant gratification. Yeah. I'm going back years with this. Like, buy a house, down payment. Oh, man, you're not paying no rent here. Yeah. Live with your mom. Do what you gotta do. Hustle. You think so? I'm like, I think so. Why wouldn't you want your mom out of the hood? Like, like these are comments that I had with my boys. I was like, you don't leave them there. Some people will never leave. Yeah. Yeah. Some parents, like, I know people that, no, I'll die here. I'm like, okay. It is what it is. I'll come visit you. But I believe it's because they don't believe enough in themselves or in their situation.
And I think part of it is they just don't know, right? They don't know the steps to get from A to B, right? Sometimes it's 20 steps, sometimes it's 4. But you're just not having the information. You don't know yourself, right? Yeah. And I took that to heart. When that situation really changed my perspective on financial, just knowing if you knew that you had another option, maybe you did something different. Maybe you don't. Right. But that's not up to me, right? That's your decision.
At least know all the rules.
Exactly. Know all your options. That's the thing, right? Know all of your options. And if you know your options, if you know better, you do better. So I sold the house for them. I made my money. The family got out of the situation. But right after that, I started looking how to get my I I had to retake my life insurance license exam.
Expired?
It expired, and I let it lapse, right?
Okay.
So I had to go retake it. And I did that, and in doing that, I'm like, I can't leave my development job to do life insurance only. I'm like, there's got to be more to this. Mm-hmm. So then I start doing some more research around insurance in general, and I realized that there's life insurance and there's property and casualty insurance. Mm-hmm. And a P&C license, you can do all of the insurances once you get that license. So that goes my journey of educating myself, learning about it. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go take that test. I don't know where it's going to take me, but I'm just going to go take the test so I can have the accreditation.
I got you.
For myself. I'm glad I did that.
Okay.
I did this while I was working a development job. So I would work a full 9 to 6 shift at work and then leave there and go to school for 3 hours. And I did that for like 3 months.
Because you wanted it.
Yeah. I needed to get it, right? Mm-hmm. I finished a class in December of 2019. I took my state exam January of 2020. So I passed the test first shot. That test is probably the hardest test I ever took in my life. Really? I've studied for a Series 6, 63, and 7. Yeah. The insurance exam was harder than that test.
Wow.
Because it's so broad. You got to know so much different stuff. No one knew that COVID was coming.
Right.
But I passed it in January. I'm on top of the world now in my mind. Like, I can do whatever I want to do.
Everything is open to me.
I'm good. I'm working. It doesn't matter. And then, boom, COVID hit.
March.
Yeah. But that gave me the time to sort of set up it's a network, man. It set up my network of relationships because nobody's outside at this point.
Right, because you started letting people know, yo, I'm in the insurance game now.
This is what I'm doing.
I want to help.
Yeah. And most of my conversation was around life insurance, but it also opened the doors up for other conversation because I had friends that were buying houses at the time, so you need homeowners insurance. I had set friends still renting places, you need renters insurance. Like, just let me talk to everybody. Let me talk to everybody. That was going on. I'm wearing 9 hats at one time at this point in my life because I'm trying to start the insurance thing. I still have my real estate license. I started buying rental portfolio a couple of years before that. And
you said out of state too, right?
Yeah, I started buying stuff down in Delaware, Philly, and South Jersey. Okay, that's the market area I look in. And it looks easy, right? When you're on the outside looking in, it's like, oh,
it's just numbers.
Yeah, like you did one thing and now you got a whole bunch of money. Like, that's not what happened. But it's a process, right? You just can't stop. The grind is real. You got to keep going. So it got me to the insurance space, and that opened up the conversation about just financial literacy and teaching people. There's multiple things you can do with the money once you have it. Right. How do you get it?
You're talking about funding life insurance policies right now.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's the game that people don't really understand, right?
Yeah. And I know you and I had a quick conversation about that at the event, is that you can literally have a life insurance policy, put money into it, and then take money out of it and go buy real estate. Right. And that one step changes your entire trajectory of the asset. The return on investment is different. Your overall asset portfolio is different because now you've got an asset and you still got your life insurance. It's a different game.
And the crazy part, just to put it in perspective for some people, all the life insurance money is off the books money where it's not traceable to your DTI. It's not on your credit report. It's your money. And believe it or not, you're paying yourself back. So you're kind of banking yourself. Yes. And if you start understanding what that means, it really changes your perspective on it.
Yep. And I mean, on paper, it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't show up anywhere, right? But it's still an asset to you because banks look at that as...
No, it's a liquid asset.
Liquid asset,
right? Yeah, absolutely.
So now you have, you've got money that you can use for whatever you want to use it for.
Up. Yep.
And it's your money. It's free money to you. So just go ahead and invest in it. So I did that for myself. Like I'm always my guinea pig.
Okay.
I got a policy.
Yeah, let me see if this works.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't want to start... Here's the thing. We only get one shot.
Right.
To be right or to be wrong.
Right.
We only get one shot. So, some people can go raise $5 million in 2 phone calls. I don't have that luxury.
No, you'd probably have to call like 5 million up.
5 million people. Right.
Yeah. So that definitely determines who's in your fucking phone book.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, I went and tested out myself. I started an insurance policy. I got a loan against my policy, put a down payment on a rental property out of state. Okay. And the reason why this is really important, because I had a lot of conversations with a lot of friends and family about this. I was comfortable doing long distance landlording because I did a lot of property management. And I wasn't managing properties that were in my neighborhood. Right. Because my property management portfolio was, I live in Queens, we're managing stuff in Brooklyn, we're managing stuff in Niagara Falls, we're managing stuff in Buffalo. I can't get to these places in 20 minutes.
Right. So you're used to like delegating and having people on like foot soldiers on the street.
Right.
Yeah,
So I was used to sitting in that chair and sort of being the captain and the coach, pointing everything out.
Right.
That was a huge benefit to me when I wanted to transition to be my own investor.
Okay.
And to build my own real estate portfolio, because now I know what to do. And sometimes if you want to be the player coach, you got to get in the game.
Yeah.
So if you have a 9 to 5, you don't have the luxury of getting in the game.
No, because you're too busy.
You're at work.
Catch up. Yeah.
You're at work. No, I mean, even when I had my rentals, if I had an emergency, I can't get up from my desk and leave work and go down
be right back.
and drive 2 hours to Philly.
Right.
I'm at work. So it was a blessing in disguise, right? I'm all over the place in my story, but just to recap, I was working in a development company, left there in 2018 because just things weren't working out in the office anymore. But I had my licenses, insurance, and everybody else.
You decided to get into insurance, especially during the pandemic?
No, it didn't happen yet.
Okay.
So I got my license in 2016. I got my life insurance license in 2016. I get a property management job on the residential side in 2018 because the development job wasn't working out anymore.
Right.
I went there and I was there for until September 2020.
Okay.
So when I was leaving work and going to the insurance school, I was at the property management job.
Okay.
Managing inside of a building.
Residential building.
Residential building. Managing those deals.
Okay.
And it took me about, like I said, 3 months to get the license. January of 2020, I passed my exam. I'm sort of networking throughout COVID. September of 2020.
How are you networking during COVID?
On the phone.
Zoom calls?
Yeah, I'm calling my friends and family.
Yo, my man from Zoom killed it. He was everybody knew Zoom, and I as a business person, I was like, damn, Skype shit the bed, bro. Like they were the only game in town. They should have been like the shit.
Yep.
And Zoom came in and just gave everything for free.
They crushed it.
And they came in and destroyed everybody. Yeah.
I mean, that's like the whole Blockbuster Netflix conversation.
Yeah. Zoom killed it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Zoom. Yeah. It was impressive, man. I was like, damn, what is Zoom? Oh, we're Zooming. Everybody Zooming? I'm like, what the fuck is it?
Yeah.
And then I started putting it together.
It changed the game.
Yep.
So, I mean, but that also changed the way that everybody did business. So now it's okay to not have a real office.
Right.
You can work from home.
Right.
We'll jump on a Zoom. We'll take care of it that way. So September 2020 hits, I get fired from my job.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I was upset. But the reason why I was upset was not the normal reason everybody else was upset.
Why were you upset?
I was mad that my job fired me in September instead of firing me in March.
Why?
Because when they fired me in March, I'd have got all that extra money.
Yeah, the stimmy money.
money.
Nobody talks about the stimmy economy anymore. Yo,
Yeah.
Stimmy money was popping, man. Everybody was rich.
People getting
Everybody in the hood was rich.
$4,000 a month to be at home.
Yeah.
I'm like,
They were
why
making.
am I going to work?
If they were making, I think, $600 extra a week.
Yeah.
Some stupid
It was
number.
$1,000 a week in total you were getting from unemployment.
To
So you're
chill.
getting $4,000 a month
To chill.
to be at home.
To chill.
And everybody's outside on the block
Yep. To chill. Exactly that.
shopping in the Louis Vuitton store.
Yeah. And liquor store.
And I'm like, heavy.
I have family in the business. He was like,
Heavy.
I'm killing it. I'm ready to buy another house. I was like, what? He's like, yo, it went from buying $4 bottles to buying what's the most expensive bottle? I want that one. He's like, they're not earning the money. They're just buying
spend it.
Yeah, they're just
easy
spending
come,
it.
easy go, man.
Right.
So they
So they fired you.
They fired me,
Okay.
right? And now I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, damn it, man, y'all should fire me over the summertime so I can
been
enjoy
chilling.
all the stimmy money. I'll be at home on vacation.
Yeah.
But so they fired me, and I'm like, all right, well, this is go time, right? I'm gonna do the insurance full time. I'm gonna do our real estate portfolio full time. Luckily for me, they fired me at the perfect time.
Okay.
Because what they didn't know, and I'm the only person who knew this, that I was in the middle of buying 10 properties at once.
Damn.
In
Single families?
it was a mixed single family and an apartment building.
Okay.
I was supposed to close in October of 2020. They fired me in September of 2020.
Okay.
So my concern now was my employment verification with the bank because I was going through a regular lender.
Oh, okay.
And they fired me probably a week and a half before we were supposed to close.
Oh boy.
I'm like, oh, they don't have to screw me now.
Right.
Because I'm not going to be able to qualify based off of me not having a job anymore. This is a fun story. So, Wells Fargo is the bank I was using to buy these properties.
Shout out to Wells, all the fake checking accounts.
You guys
and
suck.
All the racist shit that keeps coming out, and somehow they stay in business. But go ahead.
Wells Fargo is the worst bank.
Okay.
So, a week before closing, the loan rep calls me, and they're like,
We did a VOE.
no, they did the deal on VOE already. It was done.
Oh, okay. So you thought you were closing.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, we great. We're Gucci, baby.
We Gucci.
He calls me, he's like, this is something you probably spoke about this before, is that when you are a employed borrower, it's really easy to get financing.
Right.
When you are a self-employed borrower, it's almost impossible to get financing.
They deep dive. Yeah.
When you are a combination of both,
It's the worst.
it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So I was a combination of both. I had an employed income and I had...
Well, you have W-2 and then you have self-employed income. Right. Those are two.
Right. So I have both of them and they all funnel back to your tax returns.
Your tax returns, right. And then you play in the depreciation game, you play in that game. That I know it's a little advanced calculus for a lot of people, but there's like, again, going back to deferring taxes.
Right. Here's the short version of it, right? I make X number of dollars at work and I write off as much money as I possibly can.
Right.
When you put them together, it might be a negative number.
Right. And that's totally legal.
Yeah. I make the money, so I'm paying taxes on it, but the net number, it might be a negative number.
Right.
Mine was a negative number.
Okay.
I don't know why Wells Fargo took 3.5 months to figure this out.
Because they suck.
They waited until a week before closing, like, we can't fund your loan.
Oof.
And I'm like, what? What do you mean you can't fund a loan? What happened?
Hello?
Like, oh, your business expenses, or they washed out your income. So technically on paper, you don't have any money. I'm like, what do you mean technically on paper? Right. You see my bank account. You see everything you guys need to see. Is my credit score's fine? Everything's fine. Yeah, we're not doing it. So good luck. Wow. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks. So I had 2 weeks to close.
Okay.
And I'm like, what do I do? And in my mind, that's a full-blown panic. And for me, it wasn't even about the real estate deals. It was the fact that because I was buying the 5 individual houses from one person. I was buying the building from a different person.
Okay.
And it was the fact that I had told the person that I'm closing. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. I'm good. I qualify. Everything's fine. And the instant, when we got off the phone, I went to a cold sweat. I'm like, I can't fund this loan now.
Yeah. And I can't show my face. I can't show my face.
That's what it was. It was my integrity that was under attack. I'm like, I'm not going out like this.
Okay.
How much money I got in the bank? Because I'm used to now.
Yeah. Look at your bank accounts.
Look, all of them. Everything in there. You want to take my kid too? Hold this.
Poker, baby. Let it ride.
I'm going to bet on myself. My problem was I didn't have enough money. That's the issue. So how do I have to fund a gap of about $200,000. I'm $200,000 short.
Okay.
Between buying all the assets and what I have in cash. Start making phone calls. Start calling my network. I'm calling everybody that's in my phone that I think has money. And if they don't have money, they might know somebody that has money. I'm calling everybody. And I'm like, that conversation developed a skill of raising funds.
Okay. Because
now I know how to talk to people in a certain way to present the deal to them.
Right.
And it's either a yes or a no, but I know why it's not going to work for them.
Right.
I was able to raise $210,000 in 7 days.
Nice.
So
how many people?
3.
All right, it's not bad.
It wasn't bad.
Not that bad.
It wasn't bad. It worked. It worked itself out, right? So we got all the money together. I close, and everyone's like, "Oh, great job, you did it." I'm a nervous wreck.
That's the beginning. Yeah, yeah. We just got it.
Now the work starts, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm a nervous wreck. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Right. I don't know where to start.
I don't know. I knew where to start because it wasn't the first property I bought. I had other properties, but it was like I've never borrowed money from people at this level.
You felt that pressure.
I was feeling pressure every day. Like it was worse than owing the bank money.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know that there's a person attached to this money.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'm going through construction because one of the projects was a full gut renovation of a 5-unit building.
Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, that budget alone was like $300,000. I'm dealing with that. I got brand new tenants in the other properties. I've got people I got to pay back for investors. I've got my own regular life stuff to deal with. Yeah. And I'm still raising the son. I was a nervous wreck for like 6 months. Okay. I got everything done though. Okay. Renovations got done. Did my refinances. Took my equity out. Paid everybody back ahead of schedule because all my loans were like for a year. Okay. I paid everybody back in like 5 months. Nice. Just to get away from the stress of what that felt like. Yeah. Did all of that, and then I finished my building, refinanced that, put some money in the bank, and now I'm like, whew, you can breathe. I feel good now.
People don't understand the pressure. Like, sometimes financial pressure can feel so physical, like it's a weight on your chest. Mm-hmm. You can be like, yo, but that's the game. Being an entrepreneur, man. That's what you sign up for.
It is.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Yeah. Who can endure the longest without breaking usually wins. That's what I believe. Anyway.
I believe you're right. Yeah. You're 100% right.
Because it's like you said, it's poker.
It's poker.
Like, fuck.
It's poker.
And you just gotta have like that almost like fanatical belief in yourself, right? Because hey, listen, your family. I don't know your situation. Mm-hmm. I have maybe one or two family members that have really done well for them, but they're all passed away now. Most of my family, they're like, oh, that's crazy. What are you doing? Oh, why would you buy that? Oh, that's crazy. Well, why are you driving that car? Oh, you bought the house. Oh, taxes. Like, taxes, everybody's a financial fucking analyst when you do anything. Like, these things, they live in the project. Yo, man. Oh, that's crazy. How you going to pay that? I'm like, what's the sink breaks? Yo, my man. Yeah. Wait, you an economist now? Yeah. Like, when you're doing something, everybody has an opinion. And you got to have that, because you want to be politically correct and be like, yo, listen, like in a nice way, answer. But there's that part of you that's like, yo, fuck you, man. Exactly. Like, yo, I believe in this and this is what I'm doing. And you can stay here and live the way you want to live. And I want to live. And that becomes a whole thing where I believe you got to be true to yourself, because the worst thing is regret, man. Like, I could have tried. Yeah, I'd rather try and burn. Yeah, I'd rather try and burn than not try, because that'll always be back in my head. I'd be like, I could have done that, or I should be here, and but that's not for everybody. I posted something today, built different, because there's something, I don't know if it's dysfunction, could be. I mean, but or it could be my greatest trait. I don't know. Either way, the way you look at it is the way you
perspective
judge it.
is everything. And to your point, right? Like my dad is super conservative.
Yeah, the older generation usually is.
Yeah. I mean, immigrant.
They come from nothing, right? Yeah,
we save everything. Yeah. Like, I'm saving the old cans for what? Dad, what are you saving the cans for? Just in case, I would keep it.
Yo, my mom, full-time job, used to get bottles, like bottles.
Really?
I'm like, come on, man, it's embarrassing. No, give me the water bottles. All right. Yeah.
So my dad's super conservative, right? Yeah. And when I started out, it was 2017 when I bought I bought two at once. Right? And this is something I'll tell everybody. When you're starting out in real estate, don't buy one property. And when I say one property, if you're buying, don't buy a single family house. If you're going to buy a 2-family,
for 3-family
stream, right? Yeah. It's not even for revenue stream. No. It's for risk. Okay. So if you buy a single family home for a rental and that tenant starts paying, you are 100% out of your money.
Right.
You buy a 2-family, you're 50% down. It's not that bad. You buy a 3-family, 30%, 4-family, 25%, right? Yeah. The odds that multiple people lose their job and stop paying at one time, it's very unlikely. Depending on your neighborhood and all that stuff, but it's greater if it's a single family home. So when I went to go buy my first rental property, I bought it from a person who had 20 properties. So I'm like, let me buy 5. Bank turned me down. Right. They're like, you can buy 2, but you can't buy 5. All right, let me get 2. Yeah. So I bought 2. I started with 2 rentals for my first rental.
2 multifamilies?
No, 2 single families.
2 single families. Okay.
Yeah, because they had 20 single family homes in their portfolio. Okay. So I'm like, I went to negotiation with them for 5 of the 5 single families. Right. And they were like, cool, you can take them. I went to the bank. They're like, no, good luck, buddy. You can only get 2 from us. All right, fine, I'll take 2. Right. So that was how I started with the two rentals. Then I bought another one like a year later, and I just built my portfolio. COVID was like the best time to buy real estate. Right. So
if you had the money.
Yeah, so I bought a bunch of stuff during COVID, and my dad saw the progression. He saw the journey, and when I started out, he wouldn't give me any money. He's like, "What you doing? You gonna buy?" My dad owns real estate. Right. He's a long distance landlord himself.
Is he?
Yeah, because he owns stuff in Florida. We live in New York. Right. He's like, "I'm not giving no money." He's like, "You want to go buy houses?
Good luck, son.
You go buy houses." Yeah. I'm like, all right, fine. So I had to figure it out, right? And my parents, that's how they teach us, as my siblings. Like, if you want to do something bad enough, you'll figure it out. Just don't do anything illegal, because we're not gonna come bail you out of jail. Right. But
we'll visit you.
Yeah, we'll visit you. We'll put some money in commissary.
We'll send you a care package.
Yeah, but we're not gonna come. We're not getting you out of jail. So don't do nothing illegal, but go figure it out. Yeah. And fast forward a couple of years, I used to call my dad with deals I'm looking at. I'm not a deep dive, but something like Dad, I'm looking to think about this and this. Here's a rental, here's a tenants, yada yada yada. Yeah. What do you think? So, that's not bad. I would actually I would put some money into something like that. And that was the beginning of him saying to me, I trust you now. Okay.
Well, you know what? It's crazy how people, after there's a certain amount of success, you have to crack it before. Nobody's going to take the jump with you. No. But once there's a little, oh, yo, what's up, bro? Like all my friends, hey, why don't you tell me about that? Bro, I told you about that shit 2 years ago. You were like, that's crazy. Yeah. And then we ended up doing it. And then now it's not crazy, right? Yep. Yeah. So that's usually it. So now everybody's kind of like, I'm a long distance landlord too. We're heavy in Mass. And December, we had a deal, beautiful deal, $600,000 in equity on close. The client pulls out. Yeah, we were real estate brokers on the deal. Oh, we weren't even the buyers.
Oh, wow.
So we got a conference call.
You were in the right position.
Yeah, me and my boys. We were like, yo, What you got? Everyone's like, yo, let's put this amount up. Can you do it? I said 30 days I could do it. Or, well, I'll cover you with it. Like, it became a thing.
It's a thing, yeah.
And we closed the deal. That's for that. And now we're working on like 190 units.
Beautiful.
Yeah, another type of situation. Like, you know, the guy was like, yo, we're giving it to you. You know, that fee was going to be like $500,000. And he's like, oh, at the end, something happened. I was like, you know what, man? We did this already. Hold on. Now you're out. Yeah. Now you're out. And but that becomes the thing. Like in the beginning, it's scary, right?
Yeah.
You're putting big numbers out, and then things start stabilizing, and then you start seeing your operating account show money, and you're like, okay. And if it's not, because that's not even the main gig for me, right? The main gig for me is origination of mortgages and selling real estate. So that's my explosive money.
Yeah.
Now this stuff, if I get that kind of under control and see a nice distribution, then you start playing around the life insurance game. Yeah. Now you start moving your assets around. That's really kind of where you want people to.
That's where you want everybody to get to, right? It's a place of stability.
Right.
It's you're not chasing money. You're starting to set the money up to do more money for you later on.
Right.
And that's a place that everyone should get to. I mean, that's my goal for all of my clients, to get them to that place where you're not worried about the money isn't the issue anymore. Right. It's how do I protect it, how do I grow it, and how do I leave it for the family. Right. That's the place that everyone should strive to get to.
What do you recommend somebody should insure themselves for? I've heard 5 times income. I've heard 10 times net worth. I mean, everybody has different numbers.
So it depends, right? So at bare minimum, you cover all the things you own. Okay. Right. So if you've got a $500,000 house and you want to leave $1 million for your family or $500,000 for the kids, at minimum, get the coverage to pay off the house and leave the kids the money you want to leave them. Right. If you've got a lot of assets, you need more insurance. Right. It just depends on where you're at. I don't like to give anyone like a straight set number because your life changes. Yeah. And here's the big thing. A lot of people don't revisit their insurance. They get it and they think it's done like forever. Your life evolves. Yeah,
at 21, you get a $50,000 policy. At 55, you're like, what the fuck is this $50,000? What the fuck is this doing? Yeah, it's a fucking, I don't even know what kind of bill that is.
You gotta follow up and check up on your financial health, right? Your financial health, right? So
everybody, it becomes more of an accountability thing, because I think when you look at it from a certain perspective, if you're always kind of like chasing your dollar, you don't want to deal with it, because it just shows you where you might be short. Right? But you got to look at it a certain way. So if you can't afford whole, just get term. Just get term for now and then convert. But people don't understand those options either. Yeah. People are like, oh, if I get it, it's going to, if I don't use it in 20 years, if I don't die in 20 years, it's going to be a waste. I'm like, you can convert a piece of it. You know what I'm saying? But, and you know what? So what? So what, man? So at least for 20 years, you felt real confident.
Yes, right.
You know what I'm saying? You're taking a risk. You're taking a risk. You jump out the plane. It is what it is. But it just becomes a mindset of what people feel is necessary compared to what's a waste. Like the Gucci loafers are necessary, but not the life insurance policy in case you're the number one provider in your house. You have your wife, your sister, your mother, your kids who all depend on you, right? Because talking in Black and brown communities, it's not just your wife and kids, bro. No. It's the whole family. It's the whole family. Yeah. They're like, yo, call Omar. He'll know what to do. I'm like, who is this? Oh, my, your cousin from wherever. Right. You're like, yo. I've had these conversations. I'm like, I saw you on the gram. I'm this guy's son, and he'll end up being a second cousin and stuff like that. And it gets real, especially the Hispanics, it gets real extended. Yeah. But they look at you. They look at you for some guidance, and then you feel like after you receive or you achieve a certain level of success,
you want to help everybody.
It's an obligation. Yeah. I feel like it's an obligation to be like, yo, man, I this is what it is. This is what I think I should do. But then you got to again go back to how much time do I spend on this? Because it could be an all day thing or all week thing, and and sometimes they don't even take your advice.
There's a couple things that I realized that have happened after you reach, like you said, a certain point of success. Is that one? Everybody thinks that you have time for everything.
Yeah. You chilling.
Yeah, like
you made it already.
You're not doing any work at all anywhere. Yeah, that's the first thing. Second thing is, your time isn't worth anything. Yeah, like, hey, let me talk to you real quick. That real quick is a 2-hour conversation when you had work to do. Right. The third thing is, I heard what you said, but I'm gonna do something else that I saw on Instagram. Okay. And then it doesn't work, and they come back. Well, how do I fix this? I don't know.
Yeah, what'd you do on Instagram? Call that guy. Yeah.
Like there's so many things that happen along the way. But like you said, like in terms of just the insurance, it's like their term, there's whole life, and then there's multiple options within those two things. Right? Everyone should have insurance. Like if you're alive, if you have any assets, or if you have family. Those are 3 qualifications when I ask someone to know if you should have whole life or not.
Yeah. Do you have anybody who depends on you to live? Break it down that way.
Not even that. If you're alive, you need life insurance. That's it. That's the first question. Do you own anything? Yes or no? Okay. Yes, you need life insurance. No, maybe you don't need that much.
Right.
The third one is, do you have anyone that depends on you? You've got kids, you've got older family you're taking care of, you got relatives, aunts, nieces, nephews. Any of those things apply, you need life insurance. Period. Like there's no reason for you not to have it. It's not that expensive.
Yo, the worst feeling in the world is getting the call from family members that they can't bury somebody. I don't know if you ever. I've gotten that call. Last year, I got that call twice. Mm-hmm. It's like, yo, I gotta wait till this happens so I can pull them out the morgue. I was like, no, we're gonna take care of that. But fuck happened to you guys? You know what I'm saying?
GoFundMe.
But as a GoFundMe. What the fuck is that, man?
GoFundMe is not life insurance.
Yeah, but that's crazy. That's crazy. Like,
but it sounds a little weird, but when you see the way the person was living, and then they pass away, and now you're doing a GoFundMe for this person that had all of the bells and whistles. They're the ones with the big chains and the fancy cars, and they're decked out in all of the brands. And then they pass away, and your family cannot bury them. You realize that there's an imbalance in terms of their financial education as to why didn't you have anything set aside with all that money you were spending?
Yeah.
Like, where was it? And I mean, I don't know what the real answer is, but we've got to change that. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think having these conversations with people like you and doing the mixtures and stuff like that, even if it sheds light to, like, I don't know, one other person, it'll help, and it'll become like a chain reaction, because people have to understand, they gotta like wake up a little bit. Like, looking good is great,
right?
But
feeling
if you want to build something, it takes a little effort, and you have to have the financial knowledge. That's a big thing. So if anybody wanted to contact you, talk about life insurance or any insurance, speak to the camera, please.
You can contact me on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way to get to me. Is Andre_talks_green. You can also go to SenecaVillageInsurance.com, and those are probably two fastest ways to get to me.
Okay,
is through the internet. I can definitely provide you my contact information, cell phone number, and all that good stuff to call the office. If you want to learn about life insurance, if you want to learn about building wealth for financial literacy, if you want to learn about real estate investing, you want to learn about business credit, I can show people how to make life insurance, get it for free. Like,
oh wow,
I can teach you how to do that, but you have to be willing to do the first thing, right? The biggest thing that all of my conversations start around with any client is, what's your budget? It's a very simple question. No one likes to talk about their budget, because it shows you, like you said, it shows you where you're at right now.
Right.
But if you don't know where you are, you don't know where you're going. And it's a very simple thing that will completely change your life. So definitely, tap in, give me a call. I'm more than happy to help as much as I can before it becomes a detriment to my own business. But I'm here to give the information, because the more people that I can help is the more people that we as a community can help to then uplift and grow everybody together.
Right.
And that's the goal. That's really why I got into the insurance business. It's not for the money.
Yeah.
Like, you get commissions and all that stuff, but it's not a lot of money in comparison to what impact you have on someone else's life when they need it.
Right.
And that's my business, right?
Right.
You don't really care about what I know until you need it.
Until you need it, right.
And when you need it, it's normally too late to do something else that you should have done from before. So plan ahead, make a plan, protect yourself.
Protect your wealth.
That's
a new slang.
That's a bar right there.
Protect your wealth right there. So if you're going to call me or call Andre, just listen. The only thing I ask is, whatever we teach you, execute. Execute, man. And you guys are all rock stars. Thank you. We'll see you next time.